Hey, how's it going? Jimmy Freeland here. So this video is going to be a case study of a investor of ours. Ross, how long you been working with us?
Since early 2019, I think, is when we got our first property.
Awesome. So in this video, we're going to go through the good, Ross. We're going to go through the bad, and we're going to go through the ugly.
All right.
And I think if you watch this video, you're going to be able to get a realistic expectation of what building a portfolio of single family rentals will do for you. Ross, do you mind introducing yourself to everybody?
Sure. My name is Ross Arrett. I joined Cashflow Tactics back in late 2018 and got hooked up with Jimmy in the St. Louis area. I've been buying properties from him, turnkey properties from him ever since. And yeah, I'm just a real estate investor who is enjoying the ride and learning a lot. And Jimmy's teaching me a lot, and I'm loving it.
And can you talk about what obstacles you faced as far as you doing it yourself actively and why passive was a better route for you?
Actively, I've got a full-time job that's paying me pretty well, and I don't want to leave it. And I love what I'm doing. This is the way for me because it doesn't require a lot of attention from me. I can outsource the things that I'm not good at, and it just helps me keep focused on what I'm actually good at, which is my job.
Comparative advantage. You spend time in your unique ability, and partner up with people who are doing things inside their unique ability.
Correct.
And you also live in California, and you live in Silicon Valley, so it's hard to find cash flow in that area.
Yes. In fact, it's hard to find a house that I can afford in this area.
That's even for a house to live in, much less invest.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to bring up your case study, and then I really enjoy doing these case studies for all of our buyers, especially. Let me see. You have 1, 2, and then can you see my screen, Ross?
Yes.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 assets.
10 on my own and 8 with my brother.
Oh, another 8. Yeah, you got another 8 that I didn't even throw in this case study.
Yeah, but this is a good idea, I think, of what people can expect.
So you're almost to that magic 20.
Sorry, something broke.
You're almost to that magic number of 20 assets. And I'm going to bring it up on this screen too so I can see it. I'm just going to kind of review for the audience what you've accomplished here, Ross. So if you guys could see here, Ross has bought 10 assets. Your total cash down on that has been $2,000. This is the fun part for me. So your purchase prices have equaled 1.2 million, but in the 4 years you've been working with us, they've appreciated to 1.725. And then I don't push those appraisal values that hard when I do these. I either do 15 times rent or I do the Zestimate. So there could be some more equity that I just don't want to overpromise and underdeliver with. So that's an appreciation of it's 473,000, close to $500,000. Not bad for time spent doing what you've been doing in your unique ability for a passive manner.
Yes. What is that? That's almost 200% of what I put in, something like that. Maybe even more.
Yeah, on case study. So on the case studies, I do your ROI on appreciation down here, and ROI on appreciation, you're at 176K. And so the other thing I like to do with people, we're on a video here, so I could just take the high side of everything, but instead I like to show the good, bad, and the ugly. And so that's why I marked up in red the ugly on your portfolio. So you've got 2 assets right now that have been negative cash flow, Del Marco and 95th Street. And so the biggest contributor I see for that is you had a $12,000 make ready and a $7,000 make ready on these 2 assets.
They might have even been more than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the other thing for the 95th Avenue one was there was a tenant in there that decided just to stop paying rent during COVID.
So that's another explanation for why it hasn't performed up to standard.
Yes.
So for other investors, kind of new investors, if they saw like a $12,000 expense or a $7,000 expense, they'd be like, oh my God, this asset will never work. What is your kind of mindset about that?
Mine mindset is didn't really work for that year, but you're buying real estate for the long term, and that big bump should get evened out over the next few years.
And then my stance is that real estate's like a bad haircut. So
Yeah.
even though you had this guy in COVID who was not nice, and then I always play games, I win in 4 ways. So if you're only looking to win in cash flow, this one's a dud. But this house has appreciated 40. You put, first of all, for context, you put $28,000 down as a down payment, and the house has appreciated 45,000. You're at 162% rate of return there. The tenants paid the house down another 27%. You made some tax gains of another 30%. So you're down 20% on cash flow, but your overall 4-pillar return is $56K and a 200% return. So not bad for an asset that you could consider it a dog.
Yeah. That's like the worst kind of performing asset. Sign me up for those all day.
I'm going to make a short or a YouTube reel on that one. And then Del Marco, do you remember what happened on that one? Same thing. I got it in red.
Yeah, it was a big make ready cost. And yeah, I think that was the main thing on that one. And then I think they stopped paying rent and we had to evict them.
And so this one, I'm looking at the numbers on this other screen. This one, you're about break even. You're down $40 cash flow wise, but still your down payment on this one was $22K. It's appreciated 30%. The 4-pillar return on this one. And if you're new to the video, 4-pillar return is appreciation, cash flow, the ability to use leverage, and tax advantages. So the 4-pillar rate of return on this one's another 200%. So a 200% return in 4 years, not bad. So let's look at some of the green cells, the actual good ones. So you got one here, your second house out the gate, it's cash flowed almost 30 grand since you bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And you put 26 down on that one. So you've got all your cash back out on that one. And then that's the magic of these assets is cash flow is awesome. But now the fact that you got $40,000 worth of appreciation, this one, you got a 350% rate of return. Not bad for a $26,000 investment back in the day.
Yep. Yeah, that one was nice too. We've got the nice thing about that is we have the original tenant still in that one also. So we haven't had to have no make readies. They've just been paying the rent. They've been a good tenant. So I've been giving them a break on rent increases. We're not raising them up as much just because they pay on time. And
they've been great tenants since they started.
Yeah.
For the audience, I'm going to actually bring this one up. I'm using the wrong keyboard. Let me see here. Oh, I need to reshare. Just so people get an idea. Like these are not like Taj Mahal type houses. They're just nice single family houses. There's your moneymaker right there, Ross. I actually remember this rehab. Let's look at some more of the other green squares. So you got a couple other nice cash flowing ones. You got another one making 23, Yvette, and 16, 770 carriage, and another green square that I know you're going to like. So your 4-pillar return on all these assets. What did I just do? So your 4-pillar return on all these assets. So you put a total of your own cash in this one, and you've made $730K.
Not bad.
Yeah, so a 4-pillar rate of return of $272K. And then now, are you completely agnostic to the stock market, or do you still have stuff in the stock market?
I've got like a little bit of stock in my company that, like, of course, I would love for that stock to just keep going up and up, but I also sell it as soon as I get it.
Oh, really? Oh, is it vested?
Yeah. So vested RSUs things. So as soon as I get them, I sell them and I send the money to you.
So for purposes and like if I worked for your company, I would own that stock too. But the other thing I love doing in these case study processes is like the market's been up. The market's up 80% since you started investing with me. It could win both ways. But if you had put that cash to work in the stock market, instead of $730K, you now have $200K. And so consistently, the people I see that have been working with us, this kind of makes sense. They're making 3.5 to 4 times what they would have done in the market. And that kind of makes sense because you win 4 ways instead of 1.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you're not only depending on appreciation when you're in real estate. We're getting cash flow, amortizing the mortgage, tax benefits. Great stuff.
If you had a favorite pillar, what would you say your favorite pillar is?
Oh, favorite pillar. Cash flow is the ticket to all the other ones, right? So if you can get the cash flow to cover your expenses, that opens all the other pillars up for you. So
That permission slip?
yeah,
And then so of the 4 years you've been working with us, oh, this is interesting. You bought your first one beginning of 19. Okay, so you bought a lot before the COVID shenanigans. But mentally, take us through your headspace during COVID and how many tenants did you have not paying? How did you mentally get through that?
COVID, I think, I think we only had the one really bad tenant that wasn't when it all started, and they said nobody has to pay their rent. I was like, uh-oh. But then your team did a great job of, finding out how the programs worked and signing up the tenants to get the government aid so that they could keep paying the rent. And then, once we found out that was going on, I was just like, let's keep buying. How can I keep buying?
Gotcha.
And then they dropped interest rates, and
then you and your
and I was
brother
like, I
got
want to buy more.
bonkers.
Yeah.
So if you were, what would be, if you had a bumper sticker for a new investor, what would that bumper sticker say? Or just some part of quick advice? What would you say?
I don't know. It's like like a quote from The Graduate, where the guy gives the advice when he graduates and goes, plastics. I would say, instead of plastics, realistic.
I like that. Ross, I know your time's very valuable, so I appreciate you coming on and going through this case study with me.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see how things are all adding up.
And I'm very happy for you and happy that everything's going well out in California and that you got a little connection to the middle of the country as well.
Yeah, I actually have a big connection. I'm from Iowa originally, just up north of you. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were born and raised there.
No. So.
Awesome. I'm going to cut the recording here, Ross, and then just you and me can chat.